Hey y'all, welcome back to IMDb Filmmaker Commentary. I'm your host Hayward Crawford at Hayward Crawford, bringing you another, not what a lot of people are doing on YouTube. We're one of the very few shows where we do a live movie review, breakdown, hangout. Most of the times you get these very fast editing, cut up movie reviews, but I like to invite anybody who would like to come in and chat and just kind of chop it up on our favorite movies. I pick at least one movie or TV show I live stream on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Not every week on those days, but as much as I can, just to kind of go that deep dive into just some movie, TV fandom, and yeah, just kind of chop it up. So last week covered Bad TV, a cult classic sketch comedy show. Now I'm doing Deadpool and Wolverine, so thought I'd maybe up the algorithm a bit, up my algorithm game. And at the same time, I've been a somewhat kind of long time comic book fan. I kind of get into that. I wasn't like huge on the Marvel train, MCU early on. Deadpool's been around almost 50 years now, and then going back 2000, X-Men OG with Halle Berry. So yeah, once again, guys, you're watching IMDb Filmmaker Commentary, diving in today on Deadpool Wolverine. Unless you've been living under a rock, I'm sure everybody, at least over half the country, seen it by now. So if you still haven't seen it, you're trying to run to the theater to see it. Turn away now. These are spoilers. We're just here to kind of chop it up in the chat. I think eventually we'll get some sort of call-in line set up where people can call into the show and just chop it up on everything, movies and TV. So, Deadpool Wolverine. I'll just say initially my thoughts when I heard about this movie first coming out. I wasn't like a huge Deadpool movie fan. I think may have saw the first one in theaters. I think I may have saw both of them in theaters from what I recall. I think that Ryan Reynolds, once again, this was like a role he was pretty much made for. He couldn't be any more well cast with this sort of witty, uppity, personality. Also, I forgot the fact that he was also on original Wolverine Wolverine Origins 2009. So I've seen parts of that movie. I now want to go back, and I'm sure there's going to be a flood of a lot of people going back and watch Wolverine Origins in '09. I remember when that movie came out, I see parts of it on TV. Wasn't big enough. I didn't really see enough about it, along with the Wolverine in 2013. I wasn't that much into the Wolverine to go see these standalone movies. Looking back in the reviews, it wasn't the highest quality story. They weren't the best received. I'm sure the Wolverine's Origins with Deadpool in '09 would probably have a new reception towards it since this one came out. There's probably some Easter eggs from that movie. But overall, I think this was just very brilliant. I mean, MCU, hate it or love it. Once again, I'm not a huge like, oh, Marvel, this sucks sort of videos. But at the same time, like I felt the sort of like the Marvel's MCU Phase 4 kind of platitude. I think a lot of people have been talking about that. A lot of movies that came out that kind of instigate, they put in a little bit too much of the wokeness or politics, and they kind of don't go back to just the amazing stories, characters, and not trying to preach to their voter base, trying to preach to their audience. So there was those declines, with the movies. I know Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I still have to see that. They kind of were able to, navigate through that. And I think they had a big opening last year, 2023. But it was just genius. I mean, they could have named it Deadpool 3 or Deadpool 3 Wolverine, or I just think this was a very brilliant move by Marvel to kind of bring Deadpool back. It's been, I looked it up, 2018 with Josh Brolin, who was I think the main, well, he was the main villain. He ended up being kind of like a bro, partner in crime in the movie. But yeah, so let's kind of dive into it. Sean Levy. The name always sounds familiar, but I don't remember what he's done. So let's kind of look it up. All right, so okay, he did Free Guy, which I didn't see. I didn't look appealing to me at all. I ain't gonna lie. Arrival 2016. Okay, I know the guy who lends that. Bradford Young. So yeah, he's done some stuff. I mean, let's look up his director specifically. All right, he's been directing Stranger Things, Okay, he's been directing Stranger Things. Every reoccurring director here and there. Night at the Museum, The Internship. Some Seth Rogen movie. Oh, Real Steel. Okay, cool. So full circle. Real Steel, Jack in 2011, Michigan. Shout out to my hometown. So I think that is interesting. Let's see here. Cameras. This way. All right, that looks better. All right. So Sean Levy's been around the way a while. Good for him. So yeah. All right. So some name recognition from The Real Steel, Night in Museum. So yeah, it has a good track record of like these quirkiness, movies. Free Guy. I'm not familiar with the Adam Project. Don't look all that appealing to me. So yeah. So it's good that he kind of took the reins of Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm sure Ryan Reynolds, they've known each other for a long time, so there's probably a trust there. Like Ryan probably had, Ryan, of course, alongside Kevin Feige. Ryan held a lot of sway, so I'm pretty sure Sean Levy coming in was a really big part of Ryan Reynolds, kind of probably lobbying for Sean. I don't know the intricacies of it, but definitely Ryan, of course, had a big weigh-in on bringing in that director. I will say it's great to see the OG Sabretooth back. It's kind of one of the many surprises. Obviously, we'll get into the other best fun. Once again, their photo gallery isn't that huge, so I think we'll have time. Trivia is my favorite part of the show. We'll kind of walk through the trivia, but then we're also gonna go through the photos. We'll go through the photos, kind of reminisce on everything. But yeah, great seeing the OG Sabretooth back from the 2000 X-Men, directed by Bryan Singer. Once again, Bryan Singer, I know he's canceled. He had his little sexual allegations dealing with boys and all that, fortunately. But, he did make some, the X-Men, the early movie pretty fun with him. So just give my flowers there. Obviously, separate the art from the artist in that case. But yeah, that was one of the great things. Getting OG Sabretooth back. Once again, spoilers. I think, just like with Avengers Endgame, here's my little nitpick. Just how we needed to see, I feel like we should have had that ultimate rematch between Mark Ruffalo redeeming himself as the Hulk, accepting him as the big green Hulk. We should have had the rematch between the Hulk and Thanos fighting, getting a few punches in the final Endgame battle. We didn't get that, so I'm still a little sour about that. And then when they did this rematch between the OG Sabretooth and Wolverine, part of me was like, they did kind of cop it out. I know they kind of want to make it. They want to make it into like a, like a little joke. Like, oh, see, it was nothing after all. I felt like it shouldn't have done the guy justice for him to come back as the original Sabretooth from the 2000 X-Men. And then Wolverine just easily dispatches him out, just cuts his head off, So that for me was a little like, come on, y'all. We could have gave us a little bit. That could have gave us a little bit of a bout. Instead, Sabretooth ran up to like, ah, and Wolverine just slashed his head off. So kind of like they were hinting like there was about to be a rematch, and then it was just like over. Versus Avengers Endgame, Hulk, Thanos, no rematch at all. So that's one of my small, very disappointment nitpicks with Deadpool Wolverine. Very small. All right. So you know what? Let's get into we'll go over the cast real quick before we get into photos. Let's see here. All right, Ryan Reynolds, obviously Hugh Jackman, Emma Corrin. Yeah, she was really good. She was really good in that role. I don't. She looks familiar. She was Billions. I don't know what she was in. She looks familiar though. Looks like some indie movies. Okay, she played Princess Diana. I haven't watched The Crown yet. That's definitely on my TV watch list. The Crown. Oh, okay. So she was in The Crown. Yeah, a lot of just indie movies. So she definitely had a familiar look. Like I've seen you somewhere before. So I guess I've seen photos of her as, promotional photos as Diana. So that kind of makes sense. She kind of surprised me in this role. I was kind of hoping when they had the females, gonna be the female bill. I'm like, bring Hella back. Bring Kate Blanchett back as Hella. She killed that shit. If she was like leader of the paradox or whatever the dump world was called, that would have been clutch. I guess this was kind of from the comic. It's probably some alternate comic. I'm not heavy into the X-Men comics, so I'm pretty sure she's a character from one of the comic books. But you know, it was still decent. No complaints. Matthew McFadden, you know, he played a fun role. Okay, Mr. Paradox. Okay. So I don't remember. He's been in some stuff. For the first 30 seconds, I swear I thought he was Peyton Manning. He had this weird look like he was Peyton Manning. And I literally had to take 30, 40 seconds. The first minute they were in the interrogation room. I'm like, is that Peyton Manning? And he's got this British accent? Like, why would they cast Peyton Manning and give him this accent? But it wasn't Peyton Manning. Okay, so, you know, close call. Whoa, my man got that crazy hair. All right. Jon Favreau, of course, back as Happy Hogan. I thought that was a pretty funny scene. Deadpool trying to interview to become interesting. That was a nice little, you know, fun little touch. Jon Favreau coming in. Marina Bagarin. So yeah, she, you know, played the good love interest. For her though, I mean, Marina, I first recognized her as the wife of Nicholas Brody on Homeland. So Homeland, those guys that haven't seen it, with my man Damian Lewis from Billions, and then Claire Danes, great show, great espionage, spy, Tom Clancy type thriller show, ran for 8 seasons on Showtime. So she played the wife of the Nicholas Brody, of the Damian Lewis character, the first 3 seasons. So once again, it wasn't like anything, oh my God, you know, like, oh my gosh, her performance was crazy. Like, no, just like, you know, it's cool to kind of spot people like that. I think that was fun. Rob Delaney playing Peter, hilarious. I'm sure I've definitely seen him in some movies, definitely had a familiar face. I think he is he the brother of, what's the other guy's name? John Delaney? I feel like he is. Because he's been in some stuff, I'm sure. John Delaney. Are you the brother of, Rob Delaney, are you the brother of John Delaney? Oh, damn. I had 4 sons. One died at age 2. All right. I was expecting that. All right. Well, he's definitely doing his role in keeping the earth populated. All right. Cool. All right. He was in Deadpool 2 as well. All right. Cool. So, you know, he had a funny, I don't really recognize him from other stuff, but he was talented enough with his role as Peter. I thought I seen him in something. Then we got, of course, we'll get into the Blade, the Elektra. God, let's talk about Shannon right now. We'll get into the Blade and Elektra cameos. But damn, like Channing Tatum, he underrated, has a great sort of he has a very underrated way to like come in and just take these surprise roles. This is how my man showed up, and This Is the End is like the Gimp, like Danny McBride's sex slave. The guy shows up as Gambit, and the accent, bro. Like he leans into it. He leans into the absurd, just having fun with it. It does provide a level of comedy, you know, even though you have enough comedic relief with Deadpool, but I think Channing just takes it to a different level. Like, oh yeah, that good. Like Channing, like he surprised me, and definitely like he'll just show up in these different movies with just a hell of a cameo. And I would say his is more of an expanded role, but it's just funny how he came in as Gambit. I think that's his first time playing Gambit. I don't recall him being Gambit before. Chris Evans, Johnny Storm, that was a great surprise. I remember there were some inklings about him coming back. Then when they just dispatched him, you know, that was crazy. But once again, it's the multiverse now. So Chris Evans can come back as Johnny Storm in a different multiverse, you know. So anybody and everybody can come back. Multiverse just opened up the entire platitude. So once again, guys, you guys are watching Deadpool and Wolverine, IMDb Filmmaker Commentary. I live stream on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Obviously, our audience is pretty low / non-existent right now. work with my team to kind of, make sure we put in the right tags and, promote the algorithm and whatnot. And we'll eventually get there. But I'm not worried about, I got to go blow up next week. I think a lot of people, they focus on their craft. It's a day-to-day thing. It's not like an overnight. Like, I got to get this person to share my stream so I can blow up. I'll go viral when I go viral. If I don't, it is what it is. But this is a cool way where I don't see a lot of shows, once again, doing a live stream just to chop it up and talk about a movie or a TV show and just kind of neat nerd fandom out on it. Henry Cavill showing up as the Calverine. I thought that was funny. Very funny cameos, whatnot. My girl from Lovecraft Country. She came in playing the black girl boss, coming down on Mr. Paradox, who was annoying, So it was a little bit of a political, black girl magic, shut down the white man, So I thought that was very interesting and, of course, very 2024. But she is a very, very talented actress. Lovecraft Country, how it got canceled after one season, I still can't understand. It had all the hallmarkings. Some people just didn't get it. I don't think enough people watched it in time. And she really carried that show. She had some standalone episodes as well. So I know she's done a lot of other stuff, but definitely, you guys, check her out. Wunmi Usaku in Lovecraft Country, RIP. Once again, Taylor Maine. It's great to see he came back as Sabretooth. I had to double check. I remember thinking, I thought I checked the IMDb before I watched the movie, oh, man, they didn't bring the actual guy back. They brought in somebody else. And I did another double take. I'm like, that is him from the X-Men 2000, the Bryan Singer movie. So once again, my only complaint is they should have made it a real rematch. Instead, they made it into a joke. My man Sabretooth runs into Wolverine, he just slashes his head off. All right. Also, shout out to Aaron Stanford, man. Played OG Pyro. I remember the X-Men and the movie stub. I do remember seeing X-Men 2, X2 United, whatever it is, 2003 in theaters. So Aaron's come a long way, man. I saw this guy in the X-Men 2 21 years ago in 2003. And it's fun to see him come back. Like, he reprised his role as Pyro. And he already had a dark nature. I think he did a really good job of having this dark nature. You saw it early on in the X-Men 2 movies that he ultimately went with Magneto and Mystique. And then, of course, X-Men 3, as much people, trouble, as much as people had their complaints about it, looking back for the nostalgia, it was all right. And then he came back and he was fully on the evil side with Magneto. So that was a great spin. I know he's been in a lot of other stuff since. I haven't really been following him. But yeah, him back in the 2003 X2. It's good to see him come back years later. I think that's really dope. And he kind of played his role, still being the dark villain henchman, doing the villain's dirty work. So I think that was another good surprise there. Not only bring back the squeaky clean heroes, but it's good to bring back those cool villains. So good OG throwback to the early 2000s X-Men with Aaron Stanford. All right, y'all, let's dig into these photos. So once again, guys, you're watching IMDb Filmmaker Commentary. Kind of dive in, just talking stuff about a movie or a TV show. Since there's not 2,000-3,000 photos in this gallery, I think is enough. I think it's small enough to include in the show. So I'm gonna go through the gallery, kind of touch on fun moments, different things like that. Once again, you guys can comment on anything about the movie, what you liked about it, what you didn't. Eventually, we'll get a call-in line set. Once we get some audience behind this, obviously, y'all got to start talking in the group chat first. They got to start, talking. All right, cool. So let's dive on into the photo gallery. Let's see here. Let me go ahead and add another photo for that. All right, so, oh man, so Leslie Uggams, what was she in? She, once again, I thought I was watching Ruby D. I knew Ruby D. She passed a number of years ago, obviously, but she had a very funny quality, Ruby D type classic actress that can once again get this silly comedic role and just kill it. But let's see what Leslie Uggams. Okay, she's been around. She definitely got a Ruby D, Eartha Kitt vibe. She's been around a while. You know, you can already tell she's been around the way. So let's see what has she been in. Because she dates back. Might as well look at stuff she's best known for. Okay. She was in American Fiction. Oh, yeah, she played the mom in American Fiction. That's right. Yeah. She was great in that. I think she's in the Orville. It looks like the Orville movie. American Fiction was fire with Jeffrey Wright. Everybody definitely check that out. She's been in a lot of TV for years. Empire, Nurse Jackie, Good Wife. Okay, she's been around the way. The Love Boat, Hotel, Magnum PI. So just definitely a great veteran actress. And then she got some black exploitation credits under her belt. She was in the Mod Squad. Leslie Uggam, shout out. OG. So yeah, I Spy. So how many people can say I was in the I Spy TV show with Bill Cosby? Once again, hopefully nothing happened. Bill Cosby. But yeah, definitely like the kid, Ruby, classic veteran actress who can just come in and have fun with this silly role, and she killed it. So definitely great there. Shout out to her. Leslie Uggams, give her flowers. But let's talk about. This is a great way to talk about the suit, and I'll get into another surprise about the suit that comes in the last act. But I'm glad it took them. What I love about Deadpool this season. I mean, this movie. There's definitely a lot more meta referencing that was very fun dialogue or inner dialogue for Deadpool to talk about because everybody's thinking it. So everybody was talking about. So it's great to see that, Kevin Feige, the director, they were able to have fun and really kind of poke fun at themselves. A lot of it was just poking fun at themselves. A lot of the absurdity going on from Wolverine's character being locked in with Fox and, it took them 24 years to get the classic suit. We got the classic yellow and blue suit. So I think that alone was a huge selling point. So it's great to see they kind of poke fun at that. Once again, Professor X's sister. It's really cool. Man. So many great moments. The minivan fight, taking Logan's corpse and just using it as a weapon to kill the guys, so gratuitously violent. But every teenage boy couldn't wait to sneak into that movie. Their parents couldn't keep them away from seeing that. And a teenage boy, they ain't gonna go see that movie, unfortunately. I gotta get the violence. Because I was that age, and I wanted to sneak into those movies. So what are you gonna do? Look at that. They're all wearing the same glasses. I can't fucking lie. Those are glasses I got. But they're all wearing those same glasses. These are some bond charge glasses. So these are only about $100-something. They're wearing some $500, $600 boys. But yeah, let's just get into just even the Deadpool. I think this Marvel just knew this was the return to the Renaissance. The level of promotion and marketing for this movie was just insane. They had that actual dog. Holy crap! Did they make up that dog? That dog cannot look like that. Oh no, that has to be that's a prop. All right, but yeah, okay, and this was probably Comic-Con. Oh yeah, this was this past Comic-Con. This is my first Comic-Con I went to this past last month. But I went to go on a Hall H for the Alien Romulus one, so I got the little toy face hugger in the back, But yeah, I wasn't about to wait 4 or 5 days in line for. Much as I love, Marvel guys, I don't need it that bad. I don't need it that bad. Now, if I get connections, you get me in there backstage, you get me in there without having to wait to get in there, I'm there. If you can get me in there without having to wait to get in there, then I'm there. All right, so yeah, that's that. All right, hold on a second, y'all. Technical difficulties. Hold on. Be right back. Okay, so once again, this is the Comic-Con panel. I think this had to be, yeah. I think because they did this right. This was the day after the movie came out. Yeah, so this was 2024. Because once Blade came out on stage, it's like, oh, that means Blade's in the movie. Because once again, yeah, I remember we were at Comic-Con and somebody was showing me like an IG story of like Wesley Snipes walking out on stage. So the Genius is Deadpool and Wolverine came out on July 26th, that Friday. Then they have Deadpool Comic-Con Marvel panel on that Saturday. So the movie's already out. People are already spoiling, like, oh my God, Wesley Snipes, Blade cameos. And then they do it the following Saturdays. I think it's very genius. Yeah, man, it's just weird looking back. Like I was there. But yeah, once you at that level of celebrity, you never have to take a selfie ever again. Like, everybody just photos you everywhere you go. I mean, I know there's a photo like everybody, Ryan grabs a camera and takes a selfie, but I'm sure he had a whole team of handlers to remind him of that. So yeah, that's the celebrity life. Yeah, Peter Deadpool. Let's talk about this, bro. We got to talk about this one. The Mask. I'm so glad they did it. Because there was a part of me, and I'm sure there were a lot of folks, when they first saw the OG costume, who were probably like, man, are they going to do the full one? Are they going to have the whole mask like original? And the more to the movie coming out, I'm like, I'm do without the images. I'm like, oh man, damn. It would be cool if they had that mask. Like that was me thinking, like, they're probably not gonna do the mask. That would be cool. But I'm just glad they at least got him in the OG suit. They probably just didn't. They're probably gonna say the mask for Deadpool 4, like Deadpool and Wolverine 2 or Deadpool 4. They'll probably then reveal him having a mask or creating a mask. That was kind of what I was thinking going in. I had no expectations. And then once again, when they about to fight all the Deadpools in the street, he throw a mask on. That's a moment. That's a moment. Even when I saw it in the theater 3 weeks later, people jumping up cheering. That mask was a moment. It was like the last piece of the puzzle. It's kind of like, damn, what took y'all so long? Like they were saying, because I think, like, once again, go back to 2000. And once again, they were shooting this in 99. So they started prepping and shooting this in the late 90s and released it in 2000. So I think back then, just a couple of years ago, was X-Men 97, where you had the classic Wolverine and outfit. So I think it was still too close shooting the first X-Men in 99, 2000. It was still too close to the X-Men comic books. So I'm sure Bryan Singer and his team were like, hey, we want to do something different, make it futuristic and like next level. So that's why you got them all in the uniform black suits. It took some years for old to become new again, for you to miss the 90s, the nostalgia, and even the 80s, 90s tackiness, to where, yeah, I think it's time. The trend is in the 80s, 90s, X-Men 97. Let's bring it back. So, yeah, that's why it took so long, because it just wasn't at the time, 99, 2000. I don't think they were that nostalgic for the X-Men look, because it was still kind of fresh, So I just had to give, like, a shout out, like, the mask. I got to just take a screenshot of this. This shot's epic. I'm screenshotting this from my computer. So it's like, yeah, definitely. Yeah, that mask was a vibe. Yeah, Johnny Storm cameo. I thought that was really interesting. I know there's some MCU talk about. Once again, you guys are watching IMDb Filmmaker Commentary, chopping it up, talking about Deadpool and Wolverine. Feel free to like, share, subscribe. I live stream on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So once again, you got You got Chris Evans back as Johnny Storm. Very interesting. Didn't see that coming, but I know there is all about the social engineering and conditioning and prep for the Marvel and X-Men merge. So I think this is very interesting to bring him back. I doubt they're going to bring that guy back, Ion Gruff or whatever. Guy was in Titanic. I don't think they're going to bring him back as Mr. Stretch. They may bring back Jessica Alba. She has enough star power. They'll probably bring her back to play their OG multiverse Fantastic Four. Then they're going to bring back Kate Mara, Miles Teller, and Michael B. Jordan for their multiverse Fantastic Four. So a lot of combinations. Once again, the multiverse was a very cop-out / strategic business move where now we can bring anybody back. You're dead, guess what? Your other self in the other multiverse still isn't. So I thought that was interesting. Bringing back funny little cameo. You definitely lean to the comedic side. Change him a bit. Play that, man. That was like just the accent. He leaned into the accent. It didn't need to be that strong, but he was leaning into that comedy. Like he was upstaging Ryan Reynolds in some scenes, but it was still a good playfulness, like a good playing off of each other, But then we got to get into Blade. Blade got the gray in his beard now, the gray in his head. It's cool to see they brought back Logan's girl, the XY girl, whatever her name is, XX girl. That was a great moment, most definitely. And it kind of brought into some discussions I had with some Marvel enthusiasts on the fact that there's some discussion like Mahershala Ali may not be coming back as Blade or may have a reduced role because the fact they brought back Blade for this, which was needed, that definitely wouldn't have been the same hype if they had Mahershala Ali in that same role. While Mahershala Ali, I feel like has more Hollywood and box office pull nowadays. There's still an even more rapid fan base of Blade fans, of OG Blade fans, and the Wesley Snipes fans in general. I mean, you can't name who can you name another that late 80s, I think it was more early 90s for what, like late 80s, early 90s black action star, domestic and international is Wesley Snipes. Like I still got to go back. I got to quit being hypocritical. I still got to go back and watch some of his classic early 90s fight movies. Like Wesley Snipes up there with like Steven Seagal, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Like they were all in that same circle. A lot of them came back for the Expendables movies, obviously, but they were in their own stratospheres. So it only made sense that Kevin Feige, Ryan Reynolds, this one, but it's so awkward. Still bringing back, they're still bringing in Mahershala Ali, and I know I'm saying his name wrong, but just for the sake of simplicity, his name is Mahershala Ali today. So my prediction is, or I want to say my prediction. I can't predict what the studio heads what they're going to do. My hope is, or what my suggestion is that they need to bring back Blade. They need to bring back Wesley Snipes in the secondary role. Kind of like how they did with the Shaft, even though the new Shaft movies didn't do real well. It was like a Shaft in like a few years ago, like a 2020 or 2021, where they brought back Samuel Jackson. They brought back Richard Roundtree. And then they brought back whoever the new guy was. But even in the Shaft 2000 with Samuel Jackson, they brought back Richard Roundtree as the father of John Shaft Jr., who was Samuel Jackson. So if they're smart, they need to bring back Mahershala. They need to bring in Mahershala Ali for the Blade, the new Blade. He's a central character, but he ends up being the son of Wesley Hunt's Blade, who takes on his mantle, and Wesley Snipes still has a secondary role. Or Mahershala Ali is still the main character, Blade, and then they bring in Wesley Snipes from the other multiverse Blade. So Mahershala Ali and Wesley Snipes need to be in the same movie. I'm sorry. They're either Blades from different multiverses or Mahershala Ali is the son of the OG Blade in the same multiverse. So that's all I'm going to say right there. I put it out there. Somebody comes across this years later through my live stream like, oh, Hayward said it first. Yeah, nobody listened. watch the stream, but I did call it out. Yeah, it's great to see Jennifer Garner was back as Elektra. You can tell she's a little can do much. Can't CGI, but it was good to see her back. She hasn't, she died in Daredevil back in 2003. And then I think Elektra in 2004 was, I think it was a prequel. It just didn't look appealing to me. And this was pre-MCU. So I didn't go see Elektra. It just didn't look enough for me to go see her carry a movie. But it was still cool to see her back. Like, I'll go see her in a movie of a movie I already want to see. She happens to be in it. Great. I got no beef. But I'm not about to go see, there's probably talk of a new Elektra movie. I'm not going to go see it. But I appreciated her being there. It was a fun callback to the Daredevil 2003 with Ben Affleck, her man, and Colin Farrell and Michael Clark Duncan, R.I.P. But yeah, a lot of great moments. Gambit, of course, did his thing. The Caverline, I think that was funny. Look at this. This is epic stuff. Yeah, that dog. Just always a dog. Like, a lot of these movies, like recently, it's just like a funny little dog roaming around that everybody likes, can't resist. Ugly ass dog, but you know what? It's just a comedy, just a movie. Hayward, calm down. It's just a movie. Okay, I get it. It's just a movie. But yeah, I really liked this sort of dumping ground. I forgot what they called it, the paradox or whatever. Yeah, and this really sets up the X-Men movie, the MCU X-Men sort of merging movie perfectly. Shout out to the end credits. I'm pretty sure there's been a reoccurring theme where I think the Deadpool post scene is reveal anything about the next movie. I believe in it, and that was the same thing with this movie. So the paradox was interesting, setting us up for the whole X-Men merge. Really appreciated the post credits. Yeah. It's like, man, that mask looked like it was CGI'd on. I don't know. It didn't look, I don't know. It probably was real. Yeah, look at that. Wesley, Hugh Jackman, a legend. Wesley and Ryan again. I love that we see these sort of selfie photos. Like, okay, they're actually normal people. Yeah. And you got the bones of Logan right there. It's great because it's kind of like, it seems like with Wesley, he's kind of had his, let's do a little, Wesley kind of seemed like his ups and downs with his career, but it seems like he's just back and better than ever. I think, once again, coming to America was more of a cash grab. He was kind of in there, but it wasn't like, oh, okay. So, yeah, man, the guy's just been around forever. Just look at the movies. Just look at what he's done. Deadpool and Wolverine. Paper Empire. He's about to show up and Blade. Back on the Strip. I don't know about that. Oh, yeah, True Story with Kevin Hart. That was weird. It was weird with Kevin Hart, like a drama. But I watched it more for Wesley than I did for Kevin Hart. Coming to America. Fun movie, kind of a cash grab. Dolomite Is My Name. That was a good one. That was kind of his return. What We Do in the Shadows. Okay, he showed up for that. Interesting. Iraq. No. So yeah, this was kind of a weird oasis he was in. I feel like kind of like with Eddie Murphy. He started coming back in a big way. 2019 and on with Dolomite. Here he's kind of like in a weird sort of space. Expendables 3, yeah. I dig that. Expendables 3, Brooklyn's Finest. That he's just like in the weird abyss here. Expendables 3 once again. Nice little hit there. Another 5 years of kind of vagueness until Dolomite. So Expendables 3, Dolomite is like a 5-year gap. The Art of War 2, it's kind of like a weird space he's in where they're kind of Hollywood's kind of written him off. Blade Trinity, even though that wasn't that good. I mean, that was what that was basically that's the cool part too, is that this was 20 years ago. So even though Ryan wasn't playing Deadpool, Ryan and Wesley go back 20 years. You got Blade Trinity in 2004 with Jessica Biel, and then 5 years later, Ryan Reynolds was playing Deadpool with Hugh Jackman. So what I do like about it is that these weren't just people that were kind of, Hugh Jackman, Wesley Snipes, and Ryan Reynolds weren't just thrown together, like pitching them. Yeah, I think you three should be together. It was kind of like they have a storied history, which I like. There's a storied history there, a relationship, and so Blade Trinity. It's maybe probably worth. Yeah, I think I'll probably see all three Blades again, even though the first Blade was obviously the best, most superior. So once again, guys, you're watching IMDb Filmmaker Commentary. I live stream Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays, talking Deadpool Wolverine. So if you've seen the Deadpool movie, feel free to comment in the chat. Like, hey, if you liked it, you didn't like it, what were your thoughts on it? This is one of the only shows where we chop it up and talk about it. Blade 2, obviously. Oh, he was in the Bernie Mac show. All right. U.S. Marshals. Oh, yeah, U.S. Marshals. I forgot that one. Murder 1600. Now we're getting back into, The Fan, with Robert De Niro. So now, early 90s, we're getting into the fight movies, The Demolition Man, Sugar Hill, Rising Sun, so Robert Boiling Point. Now these are the OG movies we're getting into that are worth watching. New Jack City, Mo Better Blues. I just got to screenshot some of this. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he was in a Bad video. I forgot about that. All right. So once again, Wesley, great to have him back. They've been working together a long time. They've known each other a long time working together. So, see here. Yeah, a lot of great moments, The power of movie making and the Hollywood elite. I'm starting my own Hollywood, but they want to set me a little later on if I build my own. Great. All right. But I ain't chasing after Hollywood. Build my own. And let them come to me. All right. So once again, more press at Comic-Con. Once again, shout out to her. I forgot her name, which is great in Lovecraft Country, HBO show. Definitely go see that. This must be the premiere. Some tickets. Go see Deadpool. Ultimate fans. Look at this. Meet Deadpool and Wolverine just sitting there. Good for them. Just more premiere photos, as to be expected. Promoted the shit out of this movie. Now we're going to get into some trivia. We'll get through the rest of these photos. A Black Wolverine. How about that? Hugh Jackman. Ultimate fans. Fans. That was LeBron right there. All right. Get that selfie. There's more Deadpool Wolverine events. Where was this at? Is that Brazil? Wow. Oh, wow. I took a little trip to Brazil. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, interesting to interview or, hear from like the PR team. They know how to promote stuff. Because this movie was promoted like no other. I think it's currently, what's the box office right now? It's currently like, we look up Deadpool, Wolverine. Where is it at news-wise? Box office. Number one of 2024, without a doubt. Deadpool Wolverine helps the trilogy surpass popular MCU series at the box office. Yep, they probably passed up Guardians of the Galaxy. Deadpool becomes 8th fastest film to cross 550 million. No surprise there. Deadpool about to enter prestigious list of sequels. Oh yeah, there we go. That reminds me. I would say this movie was probably the best of the three, which is pretty hard to do. I would say you can't really think of a lot of part three of a movie, part three of a trilogy, where it's better than the first two. My argument would be Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. And there's another one I'm thinking about. I can't quite put my finger on. But you can make that argument. Deadpool and Wolverine superseded the first two. And can you really think of another movie? I'm trying to think, maybe since Lord of the Rings, Return of the King? And not just box office. I'm talking about this overall critical review, good movie. Yeah. So, okay. Alien Romulus topped Deadpool Wolverine. I'll get the Alien Romulus. I gotta review. I gotta do a stream on the OGs though, the OG Alien movies. But yeah, as you guys can see, Deadpool Wolverine still breaking records, y'all. Still breaking records. All right, so we get through more of these photos and we get into the trivia. So a lot of they're out everywhere. Oh, in this mode, the World Cup or the Olympics, or it's probably the World Cup, some sort of summer thing. And the amount of money, big money behind this movie is insane. Okay. Great posters. Every poster you can imagine. Gotta know how to market. Gotta know your audience, know how to market your audience. Okay, so I got through all the photos, y'all. All right, good stuff. So now we're gonna get into my favorite portion, trivia, and then we're gonna wrap up the show. All right. So let's go into trivia. Once again, you're watching IMDb Filmmaker Commentary live streams on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Feel free to like, share, subscribe. There'll be more of these, like I mentioned, on those days. Because I'm a TV and movie nerd. I'm a filmmaker. So, why not talk about the movies I love, as I continue shooting my own stuff. All right, first piece of Deadpool and Wolverine trivia. It was a big deal to get the rights to use Madonna Like a Prayer, as Madonna doesn't license songs often, especially that songs. Ryan Reynolds and director Sean Levy had to pay her a personal visit to show her how the sequence was being used and explain why. According to them, it helped that her son was a big fan of Deadpool. During the meeting, Madonna's sequence was better, and it was so good they decided to shoot it again with the Reynolds called the experience one of the great thrills of the life. So once again, guys, you guys probably know by now the big scene, the city street scene. We're fighting all the Deadpools. Who could guess? Like who would even think like this is the most ironic music for these scenes, which is good for comedy. They need that ironic music. So very interesting choice. All right, next trivia. Hugh Jackman said he really was done playing the character of Wolverine after Logan. He then said he regretted that statement after watching the first Deadpool movie and expressed to Ryan his interest in the two characters meeting on the big screen. When asked why he chose to return to the film, he said, "I just wanted to do it, and it felt in my gut." adding that he wanted to have the best possible time ever on a movie set with Ryan Reynolds. Likewise, Reynolds wanted to work alongside Jackman since the first Deadpool movie, and was saddened when Jackman retired from the role. You know, but then again, they did work that one time briefly on. I'll look that up. Let's look that up right now. Actually, I want to look up and see like exactly how much screen time they had together, like how many scenes. I know it wasn't the same, but the Wolverine Origins movie was the first time they worked together, technically. Lee Schreiber was in it as Sabretooth. Early years of James Logan, featuring his rivalry with his brother Victor Creed, his service in the Special Forces team implementation. So I gotta go back. I gotta go watch this movie. It's on Max. I might give this watch on Max. Hold on, y'all. I gotta update my. Oh yeah, so I gotta go watch that. And okay. Yeah, there go Deadpool right there. OG Deadpool. Look at that. Screenshot that one. So, I'm sure they may have had a couple scenes together, but I guess it wasn't the same because this was like an official Deadpool movie. X-Men Wolverines was his movie. So that's kind of cool. Like Deadpool was in Wolverine movie, and now Wolverine gets to be in a Deadpool movie. So I guess that's kind of what he meant because it's not like they never worked together. This was just like Wolverine Origins just wasn't the same. You got Will.I.am playing Gambit. I don't know. I forgot what character he played. All right. Yeah, look at that. Okay. So we got young Deadpool. So, yeah, I really want to watch this now because this was the genesis of what would later become Deadpool. Oh wow, look at that. This was 15 years ago. No, Ryan Reynolds was probably at the premiere, right? And Halle Berry there. Mel Gibson. Go Ryan Reynolds. There we go. This is so cool, full circle, Even though looking back, it wasn't the best. Most widely receptive movie. But I'm just curious. I just want to see how many scenes with like Deadpool and Wolverine. You're quite the animal. I remember that. I don't know why I remember that line. Danny Houston always plays a great villain. American Horror Story. This movie now is coming up, and it's gonna be the villain. The new Crow movie coming out this month. Yeah, yeah. I want to watch a little late 2000s nostalgia. I'm probably watching this movie this week. Will.I.am. Oh, they was fight. Oh yeah, he was 100, 200 years old, fighting in the Civil War. Shit. All right, how much more Wolverine Deadpool we got here? Yeah, so they at least shared a scene together. Okay. Oh, he was Gambit. Okay, so he was the Gambit in this movie. They recasted him. Oh, that's so cool. He's taking a little normie photos. Fans. Y'all, it's just gonna be some dead air. You're looking at this is TV fandom nerding out. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just looking back at the. I'm probably gonna watch this movie this week now. I want to go back and see just what little tidbits from this X-Men Wolverine movie. So Deadpool was technically in a Wolverine movie. Then 15 years later, Wolverine is now in a Deadpool movie. Oh shit! I ain't gonna go. All right, we're gonna move on. All right. So, all right, next piece of trivia of Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds said that he and the makers purposely asked for a lower budget than Disney was prepared to offer them, remembering that the first Deadpool was such a success because they had constant time and budget limitations, which fostered an atmosphere for creativity. Oh, okay. Yeah, interesting. Kevin Feige was originally against bringing back Hugh Jackman for Wolverine, as he was concerned that doing so would undermine the events of Logan, a movie Feige held in very high esteem. I agree. Logan was really good, and I got to make a note to watch that. Where's Logan? I know Logan has to be somewhere streaming. Oh, FX now. All right. He eventually relented once it was confirmed that the film would focus on a different variant of Wolverine, combined with Jackman really wanting to return to the role. His only stipulation for Jackman coming back that depicted his classic yellow and blue costume. I love this right here. So Kevin Feige was like, we don't want to upset the Wolverine legacy. Logan was a masterpiece. And hey, it's gonna be a different multiverse Wolverine. You can come back, but just be in that costume. I think that's great. All right. Next trivia. I was on my way just driving and I get it. You wanted to really work with Ryan again. You guys had a bromance hard on for each other. Okay. All right. Hugh Jackman had to bulk back up into Wolverine shape. Although he maintained a fitness regimen for health reasons, he slimmed down due to singing and dancing for 8 shows a week and a revival of the music band, and needed to gain a large amount of muscle mass and short gap between the end of the musical run and the start of principal photography. All right, interesting. Woo, here we go. Be family friendly. People ain't gonna like this. Confirm my suspicions. The first R-rated movie directly distributed under Walt Disney Studios, as opposed to one of his banners, Touchstone. Although meant for audiences for 17 and older, Ryan Reynolds admitted that he showed the movie to his 9-year-old and 70-year-old mother, and they both loved it. Hey, freedom of choice, I guess. Deadpool's new costume is of a lighter shade of red and has a larger eye circles than previous suits. This was Deadpool's comic look in the 90s comics. Kevin Feige served as an associate producer on X-Men 2000. I did not know that. Oh, okay. Kevin Feige served as an associate X-Men in the 2000 movie and was present in Hugh Jackman's original audition for Wolverine. Feige said, for Jackman and for me, I think for all the fans of Marvel, it's unbelievable what has happened in 23 years. To have Hugh back is incredible. For me personally, that is where I started. It was his first on-set audition, and he flew up to Toronto to do a read with Anna Paquin. I remember sitting behind the camera, well behind the camera at his audition. It's very full circle having him back for this new Deadpool film. Somebody wanted a fake troll title. Ryan Reynolds. Okay, the film's release in 2024 coincides with the 50th anniversary of Wolverine's debut in The Incredible Hulk number 180 in 1974. All right, interesting. Jay Fear, a terminally ill 45-year-old football club fan, got to meet Reynolds at the league match in April 2023 thanks to a charity. The meeting, Ryan Reynolds gave him one of his gloves from his Deadpool costume and arranged for him to visit the Deadpool Wolverine studio. After Mr. Fear died the following month, Reynolds posted a heartfelt tribute to him on social media. All right, Captain America, Brave New World, and Blade were both delayed to 2025 due to extensive reshoots and the strikes, leaving this as the sole MCU film of 2024. It is the first year with a single MCU film since 2012. The Avengers are interesting. You know, nothing wrong with spacing them out every once in a while, you know? You probably wouldn't have had the same success. Y'all keep trying to cluster them all together. So it kind of worked out here. All right. During the film's early development, several actors, including Hugh Jackman, wanted to have their characters breaking the fourth wall alongside Deadpool to act the comedic tone of the film. Ryan Reynolds shut this idea down, though, as he felt to have anyone who wasn't the title character making self-aware jokes would make him less distinct and take away his unreliable narrator status. Jackman does, however, get a chance to break the fourth wall in the movie's "turn off your cell phones" message. All right. Vinnie Jones was approached to reprise the role of Juggernaut from X-Men: The Last Stand, but he turned it down because it's such a drama putting that suit on. The new Juggernaut wearing Jones' suit is Aaron W. Reed. I'm sure Vinnie Jones is regretting that. That's your excuse, bro? It wasn't like, oh, it conflicts with my other two projects. Oh, that's a sad excuse, man. You missed out, brother. Maybe it was a different reason. That was his main reason. The first trailer received 365 million online views in the first 24 hours, more than any other film, surpassing Spider-Man: No Way Home. After Disney's acquisition of 20th Century Fox in 2018, the film rights to all X-Men characters, including Deadpool, reverted to Marvel Studios. While Ryan Reynolds will continue to play the role, any future films will be part of the MCU universe. There we go. So that's what's kind of cool, is that in a weird commercialized way, life imitating art, art imitating life. And now we're going to get the MCU X-Men merger because MCU owns all the X-Men characters now. So that's funny. Or because Marvel Studios owns all the X-Men characters. So Matthew Vaughn really liked the movie. Blah, blah. All right. Ryan Reynolds revealed that Deadpool and Wolverine was called Deadpool and Friend. However, they decided to change the title the day before the first trailer was released after negative feedback from the proposed title. Ryan Reynolds claimed that Disney Marvel had already shipped 9,000 7-foot stall attendees to theaters with the old title. I mean, maybe Deadpool and Friends. But yeah, I think putting Wolverine in there was smart. The first film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe to receive an R rating. Rightly so. A lot of blood and violence for the kids. Leslie Uggams, Blind Al, who celebrated her 80th birthday during production, received a cake to mark the occasion. Deadpool 2 was approached to return to this movie director, but he had already committed to the Fall Guy. No, that Fall Guy wasn't much of nothing, apparently. It was kind of based on this 80s TV show that nobody remembers. And I think it's on Prime Video. All right. Okay, let's get into this. Get into a little bit more trivia, but I'm going to wrap it up soon. Wolverine's comic faithful uniform is based on the artwork of X-Men and Wolverine comic artist John Romita Sr., David Cockrum, Jim Lee, and John Cassaday. This film marks the first time Wolverine wears his classic yellow and blue costume from the comics. Very well done. Very long overdue, well deserved, as I commented earlier. Filmmakers cite the buddy comedies Planes, Trains, Automobiles, Midnight Run, 48 Hours, another 48 Hours. And then let me comment on why we on late 80s, early 90s movies, or 80s movies mainly. Throw Mama from the Train. Classic from Throw Mama from the Train. Whatever. Somebody's house and they had it on VHS. We were just bored. We was watching that movie. It's like an old VHS collection in the basement. You know, so I remember watching Throw Mama from the Train. All right, once Hugh Jackman was finally locked in to come back as Logan, Kevin Feige signed off on it as a condition that Logan had to wear the yellow and blue costume that his various incarnations had been depicted with over the years. Needless to say, Jackman and Sean Levy had absolutely no problem with this. Interesting. All right, hold on, y'all. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. All right. Once Hugh Jackman was finally locked in to come back as Logan, Kevin Feige signed on, requiring him to wear the classic costume, which he talked about. And once again, they had no problem with this. Before Hugh Jackman expressed interest in joining, the creative team was having such difficulty coming up with a story they felt was worthy of a Deadpool sequel that they nearly chose to pause development on the film entirely. Okay, interesting. So Hugh Jackman saved it. They saved Deadpool. Good stuff. All right. Screenwriter Rhett Reese said there were plans for all 6 original Avengers to appear in the scene where Wade asked to join the team, which would have had Wade berating each of them after being rejected. Peter was also supposed to appear in the scene and would casually lift Mjolnir in the background. The Like a Prayer sequence was hatched before Wolverine became part of the story. The original idea featured Colossus dying and Deadpool fighting zombies. Okay. It was revealed that the day that Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy were supposed to pitch Deadpool 3 to Disney, they hadn't come up with an idea they really believed in yet. That was until Hugh Jackman called Ryan that day and expressed his interest in joining the third film. After the call, Ryan and Sean developed a rough outline of the movie's plot and got Disney to greenlight Deadpool and Wolverine. How about that? That's what I'm talking about. The power of collaboration, relationships. Their relationship goes back 15-something years. Very interesting. All right. Ryan Reynolds confirmed that Nicolas Cage had a discussion about reprising his role as Ghost Rider from Ghost Rider as one of the heroes in the Void, but it ultimately went nowhere. Dang. A lot of ambiguity there. Nicolas Cage didn't follow up. They didn't want to offer enough money. Would have been a cool Nicolas Cage cameo. Always love some Nicolas Cage. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Dogpool. Also Mary Poppins. It's played by Peggy, a pug crossed with a Chinese crest. I thought that thing was entirely CGI. That thing really existed. All right. The 11th rated R-rated Marvel movie behind the Punisher. There was an 89 Punisher, the Blade 2, the Punisher 04, Blade Trinity, Man Thing, Punisher. Where I'm missing these. All right, hold on. Let's look up this. They had an 89 Punisher, Man Thing 2005. What was that? A Punisher 2008. Where was I when these movies came out? I mean, I was a year old when this one did, but let's see. Interesting. I want to see this one now. Who played the role? Oh, Dolph. Okay. My man Dolph from the Rocky series is not currently streaming anywhere. Man Thing. Agents of an Oil Tycoon Bandit. Yeah, this is the Dark Abyss pre MCU 2008. So they were just doing anything. The Man Thing. What the hell? I never heard of that. The Man Thing. That's a comic? What is that? This looks like a horror movie. Man Thing. All right. Punisher Warzone. They didn't even bring back Thomas Punisher. They got Ray Stevenson. Nobody saw that shot there. All right. Interesting. Okay. I didn't hear about those movies. I'm looking for some good trivia, y'all. All right, a third consecutive collaboration between Sean Levy, the director, and Ryan Reynolds after Free Guy and the Adam Project. So they worked together back to back to back. Hugh Jackman also worked with Levy with Real Steel, which I mentioned earlier, Night at the Museum, having a cameo as himself in the latter. For his brief cameo, Henry Cavill drove himself sick to his stomach smoking cigars for 8 hours straight. What? Outgrossed Logan at the box office within a week of its release. Jordan Peele was approached by Ryan Reynolds to appear in the film, but his busy schedule prevented him from doing so. As what? Like who? As what role? Nothing against Jordan Peele. Loved him at Mad TV, Key and Peele, all the horror movies, but as what? Like who will he be playing? Give me more context. Sean Levy was a big fan of Marvel movies and was a big fan of title characters. As such, he was quick to sign on to direct this film, especially the promise of doing something good and different with them. All right. I'm about to wrap up all the trivia here. Let me know, sir. So this trivia is kind of a duplicate. It's costing $200 million. This is the most expensive R-rated comic book film, surpassing Suicide Squad, which cost $185 million. Okay. Deadpool would have likely appeared in the X-Force film planned to come out before the third Deadpool installment. However, Disney's purchase of Fox Studios led to those plans being scrapped. Okay, Emma Corrin wanted to play homage to Patrick Stewart and James McAvoy's performances as Xavier in the previous X-Men films, as well as be faithful to Nova's relationship with him in the comics. Okay. All right, interesting. Okay. All right, we're going to cut it there. This will be our last piece of trivia. Hugh Jackman cited 48 Hours, Midnight Run, Odd Couple, Planes, Trains, Automobiles as inspirations for his performance. He was especially inspired to revisit the role of Wolverine after seeing the original Deadpool, even though he had just retired from playing the character 3 days earlier. All right, interesting. All right, y'all. And I think get into some cameos. Oh, Lady Pool. Okay, that was her. She was in Green Lantern as well. Matthew McConaughey was Deadpool Kid. Nathan Fillion was Headpool. That's crazy. Kind of like when you forget Vin Diesel was in Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, he played Groot. Oh yeah, okay. I guess. All right. I can say Groot. But, all right, y'all. That's it, man. That's all I got. Once again, Deadpool and Wolverine. Once again, come back whenever you can to IMDb Filmmaker Commentary. One of the few shows where the movie TV nerds can come to like together. We can talk in the chat and talk about these movies and TV shows and reminisce on what we love about them, what we don't like about them, all that good stuff. I'll be back possibly Saturday, if not next week, on Tuesday and Thursday, and we will chop it up. I will see you guys then, and take care.